after a tough game like this? Just a tough loss for the team, but knowing that he went out there and did his best, and how do you encourage him after a tough loss like this?
You know, so many times over the years, I've had to revert back to the Word, and just that our days are written, our days are numbered, and you know, I look at Ryan as a husband and a father, and the man he is to me, and the way he treats me, and so what he does on the field, ultimately at the end of the day, is very important to him. But to me, you know, it means nothing. He's a good man, and he treats me good. And I have to say to him, no, really, hey, women out there, you know how it is. You get a good man. You got to lock him down. You got to keep it right. So I just do my best to encourage him and let him know that God is with him, that redemption is 5 days away. You know, it's a little easier sometimes, you know, you position players, you get to run out there the next day and get your home run and make up for a offer. Bogey's got to wait a couple days, and, you know, we'll have that black cloud going, but I try to bring the sunshine in, so. 15 years of this, people. I said the other day, I'm going to make a t-shirt that says, baseball killing me slowly since 2001.
So Ryan, years ago you were traded by the Giants, and you went to a new club, and while you were with the Pirates, you ended up having, a Tommy John surgery, and eventually you obviously got sent down to the minor leagues as you were rehabbing. Tell us about that experience and what God did to impact your life because of that tough time.
Well, when I had the surgery, I was still pretty young, so I didn't really have any doubts that I was going to come back at that point in time. Tommy John was pretty standard, and guys were coming back. The biggest time in my life when I finally let the Lord speak to me and actually listened and heard it was in 2010 when I got released twice and was sitting at home not wondering if I was ever going to play the game again. We were going through some tough time with Nicole's dad at the time, so that's really I grew up in a church. For those of you that have been here in the past, I've told you that.
Hi. Lord Jesus.
So I grew up in a church. My mom was a secretary, so I was at the church. That was my daycare. Running around the church, playing in the pews, stacking up hymnals, ringing the bell when I wasn't supposed to. So those were my days growing up, and then, you know, as I got older and sports became more relevant, you know, the Saturday night games getting over late, just kind of fell away from getting up and going to church on Sunday and then going to college. And but God works his ways, and, you know, got me to pro ball and led me back to him.
Ryan came back to the Giants this year, and he had other options, and really out of interest in this organization and feeling like this is part of his family, he came back. And Ryan, you had not known what the role would be, and yet here you are. And how's God worked in your life this season as the ups and downs, the changes in role, and how is God keeping you in balance?
Every day. Just pray every day, and just know that at the end of the day, he's going to put you where he wants you to be. Some days they're not exactly where you want to be, but you have to know that you're right where he wants you. And there's no place I'd rather be. Things weren't looking good there for a while, but we're all a big family in the locker room, and sometimes in baseball circle, things don't always go the way you want, but there was a lot of things this offseason that made me come back here, and one of these days I'll tell the story and explain the whole thing, but when you see it, you'll realize what I'm talking about is God was definitely working to get me back here this offseason.
So before I go to Justin, just Nicole, were you okay with him coming back here?
Are you kidding me?
Can I say
absolutely.
A little bit more?
Jeremy does too, but Javier Lopez is always teasing me that I'm showing his hand when I'm sitting here saying that there is truly nowhere else that we would rather be. And I love it here so much. And these guys, these wives, they're our family. And I truly can't see Ryan in another jersey. I really can't. Thank God we're here. Thank God.
You know, I just wanted to share a little bit about some of the people that we have working for us. And first of all, thank you all for coming here. This crowd is great. Definitely the biggest one we've had so far. So thanks for staying. But we have some great people working for us. Obviously, because we're playing on Sundays, we don't get to go to church. So we have an organization called Baseball Chapel, and they're in every major league city, and they come in and give us our church services on Sunday. And there was just one that I want to touch on real quick that really hit me this season. And we were in Colorado, and the pastor brings in a jar of hot stuff, and he says, you know, I'm not bringing this hot stuff because I need to warm up. I brought it because it has a certain smell. And he says, we all have a smell, and we all leave our smell when we leave somewhere. And what is this smell that you want to have when you leave a place? And he put it to us, he's like, when you're in a restaurant, or you're in a gas station or a convenience store, and you leave, what are the people going to think about you when you leave? What was the smell? What was the fragrance that you left? And it really hit me hard, because you guys see me on the baseball field as this super intense competitor, and I get angry and yell and scream, but away from the field, I'm a normal, fun-loving guy that loves God. And
He is, I swear.
I like to joke around. I like to make fun of Jeremy every once in a while. But it really hit me. I said, what is my smell when I leave somewhere? What do people that don't know that Ryan Vogelsong is a baseball player think about me when I leave a place? And I thought, man, as a Christian, I really need to do a better job of that. And I feel like as Christians, we need to set an example for everyone else. And I hope there's people here today that if you're not a Christian, get a Bible, get some books, start reading. You'll be surprised some of the miracles that God has done and the things he can do in your life as well. And I just encourage you in our society for us to be leaders and show other people how to live, and just leave a great, great smell when you leave somewhere.